I'm good. I'm good.
Great. So we're coming in now. Studio. Love music, love life. You are listening to Smooth 98.1. And yes, it's now 5 minutes past 11 o'clock. It's the first Friday in the month of September 2024. And it's a pleasure to be back with you in the month of September talking movies, series, animation, documentaries, and giving you the updates about what's up in Nigeria, Nollywood, Hollywood, Bollywood, Collywood, every other wood, and you're welcome. So this goes for 55 minutes every Friday from 11 till 11:55, and it's a pleasure to be with you. My name is Oluwaseun, and it's always a super duper intense, immense pleasure to have the company of the two gentlemen who always dissect the happenings and also give you updates while providing insights into the movie industry, into the minds of the actors, the actresses, the directors, and also telling you what's making wave and what you should watch for the weekend. So please make welcome the enigmatic and energetic duo of Oris and Irabor. Good morning, gentlemen.
Morning, Chill. How's everything? Oris, Afana.
Greetings, bros.
Yeah, so I figured since I try to do one introduction per time, but Irabor always manages to help me with the introduction, I can as well introduce both of you at the same time. So how have you been, Oris?
I've been okay, Oris. I'm sure you have been fine too. I'm doing
what
more.
I just said. I called Oris, Irabor answered. Irabor, what is it? Are we not going to sue you for identity theft now, eh? And do you know the worst part? Some of the listeners can't even tell your voice apart because I know that there have been situations where Wilson tells me Irabor is saying something, meanwhile it's Oris and vice versa. So let's go all over again. Oris, how have you been?
I've been alive. Well, I hope. Yeah, but that's about it. I don't think there's nothing to write home about. So
wow.
Yeah, I'm just fine.
Irabor, what about you? Something to write home about?
Something I want to talk about. No, me, I'm not talking again. As people have told me that I theft and what happened.
Be calming down, Irabor. And no, that's not what I said. He said, Ori said that there is nothing to write home about in what he has been up to. And I was asking if there is something for you to write home about.
But there's nothing to write home about. I agree, most definitely. With what's going on in the country, like, come on now. I was even scared that I won't be able to make the show. I thought maybe fuel would have finished on my phone or something. I don't know.
What? How does fuel finish on your phone? Come on, it's not that bad. Right? It can't be that bad.
If you want to be my sugar mommy, please tell me. I will just resign now. I beg. It is that bad.
I don't have sugar to give. Sorry.
Why am I not surprised?
Bitter leaf, I can muster, but sugar, sorry.
I was surprised.
So what have you been watching?
What?
What have you been watching?
I saw The Perfect Couple, or I'm seeing The Perfect Couple. Nicole Kidman. I didn't know Bono had a daughter, a very beautiful one at that. Nice.
Who?
So Bono.
Oh,
YouTube guy. So I'm seeing Perfect Couple. What else? I'm watching a lot of African magic films. I don't know why. Maybe it's because I'm spending time with my parents. So maybe.
I wanted to say it's middle life crisis.
It's not even in the middle of his life yet.
The whatever for Nigeria is 55 years old. We're all past middle.
Okay, that's late life crisis. If you go by that.
How you say it's late life, for goodness sake?
You say 55.
Nobody. I don't think anybody on this call is 40 yet.
If it's 55, that's already tending towards the later part of your life. But anyways, what have you been watching, Oris?
I accidentally stumbled upon, because I was trying to watch the new season, and then I stumbled upon the first season of Emily in Paris, which is weird. What else have I been watching? Okay, yes, I've had to write a little bit about certain films showing up at the Toronto Film Festival, which begins today. Yes, it starts today. So there are two Nigerian films at in Toronto this year. A film called Freedom Way from a first-time filmmaker called Afolabi Olalekan. And there is another film from a collective called the Agbajowo Collective, made up of people who were, well, two of them, there are seven of them. Two of them are from the Otodogbame community remember that's in 2017, 2016, where the government kind of demolished the settlement.
Settlement,
So two
yeah.
of them are from that community, and they've done a film where that demolition forms like the context within which the story of the film takes place. So yeah, I was fortunate enough that somebody passed me a digital screener for that particular film. So yeah, so I've seen that because I had to do an interview with the guys. So yeah, so I think that's been the major. I think I had to write that thing took me such a long time to write, about 3 days, 3 or 4 days. So I think that's been the major film thing in my life so far. It shows up tomorrow, by the way, in Toronto tomorrow. It will get its first screening, world premiere, by tomorrow around like 3 o'clock or something tomorrow. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Well, for me, what I have been watching, it's not a series, but for some weird reasons, I've turned it into a series. And I don't know if I should say is early life disinterest. This one that has nothing to do with crisis. But the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, I don't know if, I know we talked about it a bit at some point when the trailer was out earlier in the year. That was Henry Cavill and some others. So it's a movie, but I turned it into a series. So I'm just halfway into it. It's typically my kind of movie.
Turn it into a series? What does that mean? You're watching it in bits and pieces?
Exactly. So it means, okay, when I'm eating or I feel like, let me just quickly occupy my time or I'm waiting for something, I go back to watch it. And the weird part is, it's my kind of movie because it's about world war and a number of things that happen. It's guns, espionage, a little bit of undercover, blood and all that. It's my kind of movie, but for some reasons, I just don't know why I'm unable to see everything at a stretch. So, well, everyone who's in my shoes.
Midlife, that's your own version of midlife crisis, I guess.
It's not midlife crisis. I think I mentioned it one time on the show how these days it's like my patience level for watching movies has plummeted. I can't see.
We need to replace you on this show, if that is something. You need to be replaced.
Or maybe my tastes just changed, but I can watch animation at a stretch. That's the weird part.
So so we know exactly to put you on. There has to be a kiddie section of Smooth FM, right? That's where you're going to go to next.
Not really. I think so. For some, I don't, like I told you, this is just, I don't know why. By the way, I think Oluwaseun is helping me to diagnose what could possibly be wrong. He says the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare had so much promise, but completely under-delivered so much. Maybe, just maybe. But again, I don't know. I'm guessing none of you has watched it.
Nope, I haven't. Maybe Irabor has. Which one is this? Sorry, I feel like there's so many gentlemen on streaming platforms now. It's not the Guy Ritchie one, right?
No, Henry Cavill.
Oh, that's solid actor.
Anything Henry Cavill. Busy you have been one person that sends WhatsApp. Me, I've not seen it though.
All right,
yeah, there's not so many gentlemen because I think I learned that the Netflix show, the Guy Ritchie one, has been renewed. There's going to be a new season of that soon. So it feels like there's so many gentlemen things going on. I'm not even sure how to keep up with all of that. But yeah.
Anyways,
so maybe Oluwaseun is correct.
Let's talk about what Nigerians have been watching, especially on the streaming platform. And I will start with the Blue app. Number 1 on the list of top 10 is The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power. Then number 2, anybody in on that?
Not me. Wait, what's streaming? That's not HBO. Who's showing it in Nigeria?
The Blue app, Amazon.
Oh, the Blue app.
The season, yeah.
Shows that show my shows.
You said?
I said there's some HBO shows that Showmax shows now. Which app are you talking about? Because I'm confused.
Prime.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, okay. They're going to power on Prime. I didn't know that. Okay, noted.
So you've got number 2 being joint venture, and number 3, a movie that I turned into a series and I ended up not watching till the end, Black Adam. Did any one of you see it?
It had such bad reviews that I was not even interested at all. It was supposed to be at the cinemas, and that's The Rock, that's the Dwayne Johnson
Yeah.
Marvel movie, isn't it? Nah, I
I'll
didn't see
tell
it.
you how
Probably
bad
will
it
never see
was when I was watching it. So I needed to download something that needed my screen to be on for the download to be complete. It's just the same way you're sending the file on Telegram back then, and you need your screen to be on. So Black Adam was what I used in keeping my screen on. It was that
So screensaver then.
So moving on to number 4, Jackpots is number 4, and number 5, you have Beast. Number 6, No Gain, No Love for all the K-drama lovers and fans. Number 7 is Criminal. Number 8, Those About to Die. Number 9, Clash of the Titans. And number 10, Dave Bautista, that is My Spy, The Eternal City. Doesn't look like the list has changed much in a week. Now, if we move over to the Red app, top 10 movies in Nigeria, starting from number 10 is a Hindi movie titled Kalki. Number 9 is Incoming. Number 8, see the face of Maurice Chestnut again. Not Easily Broken is the title. Number 7, well, Will Smith, Gemini Man. I think I didn't finish watching that movie too.
Something Have you seen like anything in the past 2 years? Sure.
You said?
Have you finished watching a single thing in the past 2 years?
I cannot remember. My memory fails me on that one now. Number 6 is Something Like Gold. Number 5 is The Union, Halle Berry. Number 4 is a movie we talked about so much last week, Tokumbo. Number 5 is Sheriff Naked Integrity. While number 2, a movie I plan to watch later on, I just don't know when I'll get to it, Madam Web, and I'm sure I won't finish it at a stretch. And number 1 is The Deliverance. So you get to see Monique again. So that's the rundown of what Nigerians have been watching on streaming platforms. If you want to tell us what you have been watching, you can share with us on WhatsApp, 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. I'm laughing at the comments. Oh dear, please not come for my neck. Chidozie says, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Affair isn't a movie one would want to watch in bits and pieces because of how interesting it is. Auntie Sheo, this is midlife crisis scaring you at the face. You mean staring me in the face? But as usual, a lady won't agree. No, I'll come back to that later on. Oluwaseun says, how many films have you finished this year apart from animations? So the thing is, I've got a lot of things on my plate that sometimes, I think I explained it to Irabor. I don't know if it was Irabor or someone, that sometimes I have to convince myself that when I'm watching movie, it is for the sake of my work, not wasting time. That's how it feels, honestly. Okay, so let's get to the updates and what's happening at the box office. Daniel Oriahi, I want to assume is one of your faves. Oris?
Yes. I'm a big fan of the man. Yes, I am.
I know. So his movie, The Weeknd, makes 8 million naira in its first weekend. What say you? Okay, before I take your thought on it, not just that, is the movie raking in some good money in the opening weekend. It becomes the first independently produced Nollywood movie to premiere at New York's Tribeca Film Festival. And that was the only Nollywood film screened at the festival. Aside that, it has been officially selected to screen at the 68th edition of the BFI Film Festival in London, and that will be held from October 9th to my birthday, October 20th. So, gentlemen, what's your thought?
I think we actually partly discussed this subject yesterday on the grapevine. So I'm a little, I don't know. I think if they're announcing it, I think it's good news, right? I just am not used to Nollywood announcements involving single-digit millions these days. I always seem to hear, oh, 100, the first movie to get 100 million, the blah, blah, all of these things. I've not heard single digits in a long time. But I'm assuming that if they are announcing this, if they are making this announcement, it probably means good news. I'm happy about that. But going forward, I think it would be very nice, hopefully, if this film makes a decent amount of money at the box office in Nigeria. Of course, it already has one tick for it in that it was accepted into a big festival. Well, not Tribeca is not big, but it's semi-big. So one of the semi-big festivals. So that's a good thing. But we need a film that goes to the festivals or that goes on the festival circuit internationally to do well in Nigeria, just so that it gives distributors and investors and people who are serious about putting money into better or higher quality movies to feel encouraged that, if we put in our money in something like this, we are going to get some kind of return back. So far, what we have is the people who do movies that travel internationally, at least across the festival circuit, they are able to get that as a prestige thing, but the money, I don't really believe, matches up with what has been invested. So hopefully The Weeknd, Daniel Riahi's film, changes that pattern. Because yes, the guys who are struggling to make these films that really don't get a lot of support locally, they need a win locally. They need a national win. And hopefully Daniel's film does that. And if it doesn't, I hope it comes very close so that the next movie that shows up also gets a chance to move closer. Because I think, was it last year or 2 years ago? Last year, I think, there was a bit of noise that some of the cinema houses weren't giving good times to one of the films that are traveled internationally. And that was like a little bit, that caused a bit of ripple in the industry. Like, okay, if these guys have traveled like this, maybe you should try to encourage them by giving them better screening times at the cinemas. So if Daniel does well, I think that conversation with distributors becomes easier. So for me, that's the biggest thing I think I can hope for The Weeknd, which I will see this weekend, by the way.
Irabor.
So the thing about, Oris has really made a lot of great points. We need to kind of understand the types of films we take to cinema. I don't entirely think, well, it's not as if it's not a cinema film, but I don't entirely think it's a cinema film for Nollywood or Nigerians going to the cinema to go and watch such films. When I saw the numbers, I was expecting, in fact, I was like, my cap was 12 million, opening weekend. But when I saw it, I was like, okay. But what they are doing, which I think Trino Motion Pictures is doing, is they don't really care. They have the funding, they have the backing. So whatever types of films they want to bring out, Sylvia and the rest, they will bring it out, But one thing they're doing, which is, catching my eye, is the fact that they're going on a tour, to festivals across the world. So it's more of that angle that they're looking at. They're just taking it to cinema, in my own opinion. I think they're just fulfilling all righteousness. Let's not be as if, it didn't get to cinema. It will definitely get to one of the streaming services for sure. But in the evolving movie palette of Nigerians, the fact that we have the red pill, the blue pill, and other pills coming through, and people are seeing films from different, genres and industries, and people are really calling out producers whenever they do something bad. Yeah, it helps with the palette. But now, I don't know if it's an economic situation or anything, or what people really want to watch during these times, but I feel that this film will do what it can do in the cinema, regardless of the amount, whether maybe they make 20 million plus, because I think that kind of movie would have gotten like 200 million naira budget. They most definitely were not going to make their budget back, with cinema. I'm sure maybe they would do it with streaming, but I'm not going to discourage them by saying they shouldn't bring out such films. We need such films in Nollywood for sure. So Daniel Oriahi and what's his name, Okocha, and all these other guys, Uzo Amaka and all those people. Kudos to them for daring and making sure that we see these different genres in cinema. And it's left on us to talk about it, promote it as much as we can, because we need those types of films in the industry for sure.
Wait, Irabor. No, sorry, Sean, please, 1 second. Irabor, do you think I mean, I've always felt like these guys who do this type of movies, they do not spend enough on marketing. That's one. But again, then of course there's also the issue of the cinemas not giving them great times. But this film in particular, I think Trino Pictures, I think they have the hope that it is not entirely an art house film. There is like a local, what's it called now? There's a commercial aspect to this particular project. It's not like Mami Water, that was the black and white, for instance. This is like a film that has violence, that has some kind of action and stuff. So I'm wondering if it is not in their interest to push for something viable commercially. It is, of course, it's not a wedding party, but I think when I just watched the trailer, I feel like it's in between a wedding party and a Mami Water. So maybe there is a space that a film like this makes something between 40 to 80 million. Don't you think?
Because it has a weak opening weekend, it didn't come out in double digits. And your point is, very apt, because I think one of the flaws of Trino is the fact that they don't promote. I have studied this thing for 4 or 5 films. Don't promote, like I'm talking about, like when I say promote, I'm not saying they should do Funke Akindele and start dancing, or Tony Abraham. I'm talking about like promote.
They probably dance too. Actually, I don't mind them dancing.
You don't mind them dancing, I mean, but I'm saying promoting
I don't mind
the film.
If it works, it works.
If it works, it works. Tactical promotions, going on media runs, like really, really promoting the film, spending money. And it's not as if they don't have the money. So I don't know where the flaw, the fault is. But yeah, true to your point, I agree. There's a promotion flaw. And the fact that that's why I said it's not a film that isn't cinema worthy. It's just, I don't think Nigerians, or it wasn't promoted enough for Nigerians to accept it as a cinema worthy film. I don't know if the distributors too also, failed at, promoting the film as well, because it's not as if they have, box office faces in the film too, which is something that does. They just do films that feature actors that know how to act, period. Buchi Franklin is one of the best actors out there. Uzomaka, my own opinion too, one of the best actresses out there. But commercial viability, not so much. You get. But if you're going to judge the film just pound for pound, come on now, that's a Mayweather.
Well, let me read out some of the things that he said when he was talking about the box office success, according to him. There's something I hope a lot of people get when they are watching this film. They'll see that it's supposed to be exciting, but there is a foreboding. It's very intentional to keep audiences uncomfortable while watching the film. I hope it pays off, because it paid off internationally. And he said it's a humble experience to have had the opportunity to make such a film. My filmography sheds light on the kind of film I like to explore. On the kind of film I like to explore, like Sylvia. I haven't made a film in a long time. I have been doing work, but I haven't done something on this scale for almost 7 years. So coming back into the limelight, I am humbled, I am thrilled, I am excited that the film is getting the kind of reception that it is getting. I hope Nigerians love it. So, that puts to bed.
So it looks to me like they would like some kind of commercial success. I just don't think that the promotion has been on the scale that would ensure that, okay, a decent amount of money is made from this. But then again, the good thing about stuff like this is that if there's even enough just media mentions, it might be good enough that they get a decent deal when they go to sell the film across territories. So I can imagine that the American American and Canadian rights will probably be decent, and then European rights too will be decent, because it's in BFI and it was in Tribeca. So I think that would probably be good enough. But they do need some kind of momentum, even from the Nigerian screening. So hopefully they get it.
Well, Wilson is saying hello to you, Irabor and Oris, and he says he's enjoying the conversation. If you have anything to say or anything to add.
Hi, Wilson. Thanks for tuning in, I guess.
WhatsApp line is 0809-444-0981. And if you're sending a message for the first time, kindly include your name and your location. All right, still going back to movies and what is in the works, what is in the ports. Ola Cardoso and Don Paul Umana are trying to produce a movie titled My Pikin de Lagos, which is a film about thriving in Lagos. And just as a background, the title is written by Sonia Nwosu, but Paul Lumana is the one that is supervised a number of notable films like Hello Rain and Juju Stories that were helmed by CJ Obasi. Did I say Juju? Juju. Then he's managed locations for films such as Gangs of Lagos, Shanty Town, Coming from Insanity, Sugar Rush, Brotherhood, and so on. And yeah, so they're talking about the movie is actually already in the works, and in the coming months or weeks, it's going to enter the post-production. So it's about a movie where a young man leaves his ailing mother, to chase a brighter future in Lagos, faces misfortune, betrayal, ultimately finds love, redemption, luck, new beginning, and whatnot. What do you think? Is this a promising one or same old, same old?
I really, really, really like the title. I think that's a great title. Even just thinking about the title for me, it feels to me like commercial success is assured. People will come and see. That's what I hope, and that's what I see. Of course, it then depends on other things, execution, marketing, the budget, how good it looks, and everything. So hopefully that works out. But the title gives me a lot of joy, and I like that the experience from just what the Humana guy has done looks to me to cut across very commercial Nollywood and very internationally focused Nollywood. I've always felt like the one thing we are missing as an industry in Nollywood right now, or across the entire the entire film and TV industry, is a film that is very, very well done and at the same time has a lot of commercial appeal. You know, a film that can travel to the biggest festivals, to Venice, to Cannes, to Berlin, at the same time has a lot of support from the Nigerian audience. I think that thing is very possible. The problem is the people who are capable of doing one don't have the money to do the other. The people who have the money to do one don't have the sense to do the other. So somewhere, I think there's somebody who needs to be able to blend both instincts, to produce this film that I think, frankly, is going to be very great. We haven't had that so far. I don't know if this is the film to do that, but I think somebody who has hands in both sides of Nollywood or in the industry is the person who would have the what's the word now? The sense to produce that film. So hopefully that happens sooner than later. Fingers crossed. So yeah, but for this one, yeah, I really like the title, and I hope that the entire film lives up to its great, its incredibly great title.
Irabor?
Yeah, I mean, when we always talk about Oscar selection and all those things and blah, 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 and if you have the next blockbuster, 1 billion, 2 billion Nollywood film, and commercial appeal and all that, I always say that collaboration is what's going to achieve this thing, to add to what Oris is saying. So if you know that you're a Trino, you have the funds, you're a Moabudu, you have the network, you're a Kula Afolayo, you know how to do scoring, and you're great with the writing in the sense of the kind of people you put together, fine. Like, it's going to be a collaborative effort. Now, if you're not looking to get the Oscar film, you're just looking to get that film that Oris is talking about, then you as a producer, you have to be educated enough and enlightened enough to now say, okay, I don't know this particular area. Let me focus on this area. Let me give it to somebody. So that's what needs to work and happen, and hopefully soon. Because again, it's going to be beyond just having a great title. It's going to be beyond just having, funding. You need promotion. So it's even your poster, it's a whole 9 yards thing. So hopefully people are humble enough. The word is humility, to accept your shortcomings and your expertise at the end of the day.
Yeah. I totally, in fact, well said. True. Totally.
What he says, now person will get money, they do passion project. His statement to me sounds like that's what it is. In the past, in Hollywood, it's big actors who have made it, who gets their passion projects done as films. But thank God for streaming services that has made it easier for them to make such passion projects. You can keep the WhatsApp message coming to 0809 444 098. You said?
Yeah. Who just what's the name of the person who just responded? Faye. I'm not sure if Faye is talking about Nollywood or international, because I don't think the passion projects are being enhanced in Nollywood by any of the streaming platforms. I don't think they care a lot about passion projects. They're looking for numbers. So they are not giving ready-made deals to the boys who are going internationally. Those deals are going to the big commercial people in Nollywood, Kunle Afolayan or Muabudu, you know, and of course the upcoming person, Jade, who looks to me like she probably got into a little of a bind with Amazon pulling out. Because I think this film that she has in, what's it called now, coming out in, it's in December. Yes, the Christmas movie that she's doing probably is not, I don't think there'll be more movies from that partnership coming from Jade and Amazon because of their pulling out. So it's a little tricky. But yeah, just to say that when it comes to passion projects, the people who are doing these big international movies are not the ones who are getting the monies from the streaming platforms. They are not, definitely not the ones. It's the other guys, the big boys who are getting the money.
Actually, yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about a movie we mentioned 2 or 3 weeks ago, and that was when we discussed the film Village. I don't know if Oris was here, but I know Irabor mentioned it. So when we're talking about different established actors and producers having their film Village, and that was when we talked about Lisa B. Then we only had teasers and posters and BTS pictures and comments on social media. But now we have a trailer. I think the official trailer for now, or maybe the first trailer.
Yep.
Anyone seen
yeah,
it?
It's the official one. Yeah, I have. That's Lisa Bin on the Aditi Meji Latif produced project on Netflix. I mean,
Yes.
coming, I think in a few weeks on Netflix. Yeah. I saw the trailer. Look, in my mind, everybody is remaking the same Yoruba epic movie. Jago Jago, what's the other one? House of God, this Lisabi, for me, they all, and even Anikolako, parts of it at least, they all seem to me to be the same film. It's like one film with 5 different parts. I think the only one that really stands out when I think about it now, looking back, is the very first one, the film that got everybody to start doing this, to go on this subgenre, which was the one with Femi Adebayo, King of Thieves, I guess we call it.
Wait,
for me,
what?
that's the
Oh, okay.
King of Thieves. Yes, that was the movie that actually, the success of that movie at the cinemas was what spawned this entire craze of doing Yoruba epics, actually. So that particular film for me is still, in my view, is still the best one they've made so far. And I saw the trailer for this. I'm just like, okay, this looks to me like the same thing I just seen with the Bola Peters movie, House of God. So hopefully it comes out and it's different. But to be honest, I shall not be holding my breath hoping for a heavy difference. A lot of the actors here are the same. People I saw them already in House of God. A lot of the costuming looks to me to be similar as well. So you know what? I'll see it. I don't have a choice in the matter. But am I expecting greatness? Definitely not.
Okay, in few words, before I go on to Irabor, you mentioned how King of Thieves at Geshinkole is your favorite, or at least your best out of all of this. So why is it the one that has really done it for you? Is it because it was the first and there was really no basis for comparison, or it was just that great?
Yeah, so for me, of course, definitely, there is a part of my heart that I reserve for people who do something new, and then it spawns this. So that's for me. So that's already a 50% of the mark is already going to them just because they did it first and it was successful. But also the story that they told, to me, felt a little. I mean, I think it's also based on something supposedly real, but it felt to me to be more imaginative than what I have seen from the other movies. It felt to me like if you had a Wikipedia page of what's it called, of the story of Bashorunga, you could have made House of God. Frankly, I didn't think the writing was that good. Lisa B, well, I don't know. Let's hope. But from the whatever, I'm not super impressed. Again, some of the fight scenes in, I guess you call it, for me, are better than what I've seen in House of God. So when you take those small elements, the fighting, the writing, the cinematography, I feel like they were better done at the first one than any of the subsequent ones. Of course, there's also a part of my heart that I reserve for Nicola Cole, which I think is also kind of special. But I still believe that Against Ikole is the superior project done.
It's how you call the Ageshinkole for me. Go on,
I knew you were going to bring that up just because you're about babe, but I forgive you.
It's not as if I have the perfect pronunciation myself. I would have you know that.
Yeah, but you can definitely identify an Edo man trying to pull it off. Definitely. You always do this anyway, so nothing surprising there.
Irabor.
On a funnier note, I know I can't pull off bad names, but my father, an Edo man, pulled off a Yoruba woman as his wife, so I'm happy about that. You know.
Interesting.
We cannot discuss Yoruba women, by the way, but maybe not on this show.
So I'm happy about very badge. Wait, Shehu, please rephrase your question again.
It's gone. Otilo, Sopotilo, gone. Well, we're talking about Lisa B and your take on the trailer and what to look forward to.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, shout out to Adedimeji because he's the executive producer of this one, and I feel this is something that he looks to do, having seen his senior bonds in the industry, release their own pictures, and it's a very bold step. Being at the helm, it's different from being in front of the camera and doing the same thing. He's doing both, so it's basically a Tyler Perry in this scenario, a rookie Tyler Perry. So the trailer is solid. It's something you expect from that kind of epic. And I don't have an issue with the, should I say, prevalence of Yoruba epic films on streaming services or just even cinema or whatever. I don't care. Me, I'm all about implementation. Let's see the implementation. Let's see how it turns out. That's my own. Because at this stage, if we're going to be ambitious enough to do such films, you have to come correct. Nobody's going to pity you, whether you're a first timer or second timer. This is not 2014 anymore. So I hope it turns out great because I always want to be able to present, a variety of Nollywood films, different genres to people I meet home and abroad to say, okay, go and check out this film, go and check out this film, go and check out this film. It's a comedy, it's a thriller, it's a this, and all that, So when is it coming out? When is it coming out again, Seth? I look forward to it coming out.
27th of September, in about 2 weeks.
Yeah. Which
3 weeks, actually.
You said? I can say.
I said, which reminds me again, we haven't seen any recent movie from the Top Guns of late, because around this time we kind of see like a Mo Abudu film or, so some film shall. So I don't know, but I'm happy that the reason I'm mentioning it is not shade. I can't shade. What I'm saying is that I'm happy that we are having different people, release different films. So it's not like the usual suspects. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes, but when they are releasing different films but using the same faces, isn't that tantamount to the same thing?
The issue in Nollywood that I have again, it's twofold. So number one, in fact, threefold even, Seth. Number one, how many actors are bankable in Nollywood, and who is going to take that risk of bringing new faces? See what's going on with Trino. Although their own issue is that they didn't promote the film, if you get what I'm saying. So Nollywood doesn't have enough faces. There's also a film critic, Eniola Tito, in a post on Instagram he said that he went for a graduation at Del York Academy and it was only like 8 actresses that graduated and 1 actor. So again, there's a deficit. That issue is present. I'm not disregarding it. But now, what works and people are looking for ROI. So if this is the formula for now, because before it was comedy and this is how they were doing it, now it's epic, this is how they're doing it. So we need more actors, for sure. The industry needs more actors. The industry needs, and I don't like putting the onus on the government, but the industry just needs some line of credit where we just experiment on new talent and there is no backlash to anybody's ROI. We indeed have a problem with that in that regard, for sure. I agree 1000%.
Well, in addition, I would say that many of these stories, it might not be all of them, but many of the stories are actually things that happened for real. For instance, Lisa B is not imaginary. It's a real person that lived at such a time and fought for emancipation. So the possibility that we have a number of stories, just the same way we had Fumilayo and some Kuti. So the possibility that people are waking up to telling or retelling the stories of these heroes or heroines or
villains, like in Basharunga's case.
So there is a possibility that we're going to have more people coming to attempt to tell the stories of these great people that lived at such a time. Now that we have more film villages or more ability and more people are waking up to it. So in other words, I would say, Oris, get ready to experience and see more of such.
Yes, but here's the thing. One of the problem I have, by the way, is, did you see this film? This is an American film, Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, which was based on real life stuff that happened like in the 1960s, I think 1969 or thereabout, you get. And he reimagined how a real life scenario ended. The same thing he also did when he did a movie about World War II, Inglourious Basterds. for me, that shows something that I think is missing in a lot of these adaptations. People, like I told you earlier, people are just going by Wikipedia mentions. Okay, the person was born in 1958. Okay, good. She went to school here and then she died here. That's really what it is about. I am not seeing enough of an artistic telling to what actually happened. And when you have things that are like legends or myths, Fumi Kuti, that's somebody who lived not too long ago. So that's entirely fine if you want to stick, but if you want to stick to the rules. But when it's like a legend, Bashon Rogers, whatever, nobody who was alive then can tell you anything about him. Now you get same thing with Lisabi, the same thing with which other movie? Against the Coley and the rest of them. These are like most of these people are people who live, like you said. The point is, when you have that kind of a broad canvas, let me see you painting interesting things into the story and not just regurgitating what exactly happened and like doing like a diary of stuff, which is what seems to be happening in a lot of the screenplays that I have seen from Hollywood. So I would like imagination to also take its place in these movies.
Okay, hear ye, filmmakers, producers, and anyone who wants to walk this path. A little bit of imagination and a little bit of research that's going to create such a blockbuster retelling of the story of the legends. And I hope you get that. Wilson on WhatsApp says, Irabor and Oris's voice sound alike. How does one tell which is Irabor's and which is Oris? I tire for the matter. The way they speak, their tone, everything about their voices are the same. Just observing. It's okay. It'll be small thing. Gentlemen, I'm not sure what Wilson is hearing.
Too much Edo State. Too much Edo State is always happening, maybe, I guess, over the radio. Too much Edo State.
All right. And on a final notes from Nollywood, yes, Irabor.
No, I said blood is thick.
Yeah, but it's true. By the sorry, just to say, just to comment on this one last thing. It's actually true because even there's a particular day I wasn't on radio, and a friend of mine who I known me since we were in university in Benin since 2000s called me and said, "Oh, that I said something." I'm like, "No, I didn't say anything. I haven't even met Irabor at the time." And then I realized later, like weeks after that, oh, actually, it wasn't me. It was Irabor. So if a friend of mine could make that mistake, then I guess we'll say, sorry, eh?
It's okay. Both of you can commit crimes in each other's names. You would always have each
other's voices, not name, voices.
For money.
On a final note, a movie that was supposed to be out in the year of the COVID is finally making it to a streaming platform today. And that is last year's Single, a movie that was created and directed by Omoni Oboli, features a number of cast or actors, including Omoni Oboli herself, Bimbo Ademoye, Tony Tones, Mauli Gavo, and so on. Crazy what COVID did. A number of things. Yeah.
Oh, I saw that. Is it on, where is it exactly? I saw it somewhere. Was it on YouTube? Is it on Netflix? Is it on, Netflix. Where exactly is that? Netflix. Okay, yes, because I saw it. I was like, wait, I haven't heard about this film, but it says 2020. I was so surprised. I didn't actually understand what that was about. Okay, but I get it now. So it was COVID Wahala.
COVID happened.
Wait, so is it an Omoni film? Because she has another one coming out, I think, in a few weeks or next month. The Wives on Strike Part 3.
Uprising. So this is an Omoni's film. It was created and directed by her.
Ah, okay, I see. So I believe it's becoming quite a prolific filmmaker. Very nice.
Well, this was done in 2020, remember?
I know, but it looks to me like this is almost 4 or 5 films she's done now, if not more. That's impressive for somebody who we principally know as an actress. It's impressive, I think.
Okay, so let's take a breather so that we can cross many rivers, seas, and maybe the Great Lake and not end up missing. So that we can talk about Kerry Washington leading the Women's Army Corps Unit of Color in Tyler Perry's The 688, which is a World War II film. You're listening to Film Focus right here on the station that loves music, loves life, and loves movies. This is Smooth 98.1.
8.1. The medium of exchange, the currency that flows through.
Oh, that was one long one.
Are we through? Is this the end of the show?
This is the end. Not yet. But in minutes time. So we talk about this one. We talk about, you still want to talk about the Venice Festival? Anyone interested?
Not heavily. They don't really like African films. Let them go away, please. Oh, no, to be fair, anyway, there's South Africa. That's not fair. There's, I think there's a South African film showing at Venice, and there's another Exile. This is a massive thing they usually do. VR projects also from South Africa as well. But besides those two, I don't think there's anything from here, from Africa per se. So maybe not big.
Irabor is gone. I wonder where he went to. Maybe it's just you now. All right, so we come back. We talk about Tyler Perry, talk about Donald Trump's movie.
It's 5 musings at 5 on the Smooth Drive every weekday at 5 p.m. on Smooth 98.1.
Well, if you have random musings, I think you should always be a part of the top 5 at 5 on the Smooth Drive every weekday from 4 p.m. till 9 p.m. And you are always in safe hands with Joy on Smooth 98.1. Right now, the time is 15 minutes past 11 o'clock. Although in a matter of seconds, it will be 51 minutes. And in a matter of minutes, we'll be saying bye to you and preparing you for the next edition, which will be next week. Thank you for your messages so far. Thank you for your contributions. And thank you for being a part of the show. We're not done yet. I still have the company of Oris with me. I'm not sure where Irabor went to. Maybe it was a network that kicked him out, or he kicked himself out, whatever was happening. But we need to talk about Tyler Perry doing something other than acrimony, divorce, and angry Black women, if you know what I mean. What do you think about it?
I saw the trailer and it looks good, although it does look like a smaller scale than some of the biggest war movies that I've seen in the past. But this one, I mean, for Tyler Perry, who is doing movies in his bedroom and another bedroom, I think this one looks, it looks different. No. I'm saying that the typical Tyler Perry movie takes place, in my own view, in like 2 rooms and maybe a bunch of exterior shots, but really, it's really just very small scale stuff he does. So this one looks like it's a war movie, so of course it has to have scale. But I'm saying that when I compare the scale I saw in the trailer to some of the bigger movies that I've seen, even on Netflix, this one, the one that got an Oscar or 2 Oscars last year, All Is Quiet on the Western Front. This looks like a smaller scale than such a film, or compared to the other one from Steven Spielberg, Saving Private Ryan from the 90s. This looks like a smaller scale movie, but it's Tyler Perry, so it looks like a bigger thing for him. So that's good. I just hope that the writing is as good as the scale. But then again, I also know that when Tyler works on a script that isn't an original idea, I think he does better. I think in his career, the movie he did, what's the name? What's that lady's name? Untozake Shange. This adaptation, what's the movie for God's sake? My goodness. Anyway, for Colored Girls, yes. No, for Colored Girls, he did a film. Yes. That's probably one of the best films he's done in his career. And the original material wasn't his. So in a way, since this too is not an original material, it's a story that, at least for some people, is well known. It might mean that it brings the best from Tyler Perry and it doesn't score 0 as he did with his last film on Rotten Tomatoes. So let us hope that, yes, finally, the man can do something decent. So I have my fingers crossed.
In his words, you have no idea what it means to me to have been given the grace and the blessing to be able to tell this story. Every detail is dedicated to the memory of the 855 Black women and women of color of the 688. When America needed hope, they delivered. Now, this movie is based on Kevin Heimel's article, Fighting a Two-Front War, that was featured in World War II History magazine. And like he rightly stated, it's inspired by the first and only women Army Corps unit of color that served in World War II overseas. And despite facing racism and sexism and other grueling working conditions, they were committed to serving their country with honor and distinction and so many things. So it's another chance to see Kerry Washington, just like Tyler Perry, in another light. And fingers are crossed on this one. I was going to say something, but I forgot. Maybe it will come back to me. Anyways, this will be out on streaming platforms, specifically Netflix, on the 20th of December. Welcome back from the dead, Irabor.
I am not dead in Jesus' name.
Oh, that was a good laugh. Okay. Uncle Ron says their voices aren't necessarily quite alike. It's their sense of humor, turn of phrase, and knowledge that are similar. Oh, yeah. Okay. So in terms
Oh,
of how you guys sound.
I know I agree.
Okay, so both of you want to sound so similar now,
No, Oris is senior colleague.
and you are.
I don't know. I don't know about that, please. Irabor is taller colleague.
Well, that's
Oris,
one way to look at it. You're
You said?
taller than Oris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think you're taller. Yes, by just a bit. Yes, you are.
Oh, okay.
4
I always
inches, I
thought
guess.
taller.
No.
Okay.
Well, we'll find out. The next time we see, we'll find out. But I think I'm right. I think you're a little bit taller. Of course, not like Scale, who is clearly taller than both of us.
I'm sorry, what? I can't hear you. The connection is bad. There are a lot of distractions and so many sounds in the background. I can barely hear you, gentlemen. Okay, so Trump, his film, The Apprentice, is set for a
It's
private
not
tour.
his film. It's the film about him. It's not Trump's film.
That's what, of course, is not his film. But when we mention The Apprentice, in fact, I dare say that that's what introduced a number of people to Trump. Or that's how a number of people got to know Trump. So
Yeah,
there,
very true.
so there is the story about him that was directed by Ali Abbasi and a number of
No, I was just calling the name Ali Abbas. Yes.
yeah. So a number of things in there. So if you have an idea of The Apprentice and you followed it and you liked it or not, you might want to keep your fingers crossed for this one that will, I don't know how it's going to get to the screens of other people around the
No,
world.
it would almost certainly not. I saw it in France. It was shown at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yeah.
It's not very good, to be honest. The only reason why the movie would be interesting to anybody is, of course, if they are just curious about how Trump rose up, but nothing about the apprentice in the movie, actually. It's everything that happened before he became what he is. And it's based on an article by some random guy. Anyway, but yes, I don't think it's okay, but it's not a very, very good film. And I hear that they are trying to block it in the US. So if Trump wins this coming elections, I doubt that this film is going to get distributed in the US officially, unless of course somebody finds a loophole. But I think Trump would not probably want to have them sit in America. But which is ridiculous because I saw the film. There's really nothing in it, but Americans are Americans.
And Trump is Trump. Okay.
Precisely.
On a final note, Irabor.
On a final note, I'm sorry. I don't understand why people would not want to see. I mean, why he wouldn't want anybody to see it in the first place. But again, like you said, Americans are Americans. Everybody is just after their own PR. Final words from me. Please, I need movie recommendations. Great movie recommendations. I think I've run out of my bank, so I need movie recommendations. If anybody can send me recommendations at the Irabor 100, please, I beg. I need to watch something that is mentally stimulating. I'm tired of watching things that I need to vet or things that I just want to watch something that I will enjoy for myself. And there are not too many films out there like that. And it's sad. I need great films to watch. Please, I beg. Recommendations, Biko.
Okay. Do you have any help for him, Oris?
Well, a lot of the films that I would recommend are not going to come out anytime soon. I saw really a bunch of at least 3-4 films that were really excellent in my view at the Cannes Film Festival. So, but unfortunately, they're not going to come out anytime soon. So, Irabor, sorry. But on Netflix, by the way, I went back and I'm seeing a film with John Hamm called Confess Flesh, which is a very light-hearted comedy. And so far, it's decent. At least I like it. So if you want one, try that one and let us know next week. But yes, final word will be to say hi to Oris at Catch Oris on Twitter and Catch Oris Gram on Instagram. And of course, follow our official handle, Filmefico, on Instagram and on Twitter as well.
Okay. Oluwaseun is still on this hill that their voices are similar, very similar. And Charles Chidozie says, you guys keep falling for this trap. Men don't measure height by centimeters. It's not our concern. We only compare our heights by inches. I'm not sure what that means.
Now it is you who fell into his trap.
Is that?
You fell into his trap.
I don't even know what you guys are talking about. Well,
Yes, you're not supposed to read that on air. Such a ridiculous comment. You today, you are fired.
gosh, I feel so. Anyways, next week we'll go again from 11 right here on Smooth 98.1. Thank you for being a part of the show. And I'm looking at blocking Charles at this rate.
You should.
On the other side, which is now pretty much, it will be golden oldies on the Casbah. And you know how we do it? We go way back to the 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. My name is Oluwaseun, and you're listening to Smooth 98.1.
Honorable, off your mic.
Off your mic.
What was he talking about?
Honorable.
You figure it out enough. You figure it out later.
Of course.
Heights are measured 5 feet and 3 inches and so on. So is there something I'm missing out? Because I said he was taller than you by 4 inches. Irabor is 6'4", and you are 6.
Hey, don't worry, Seun.
Don't worry. Just until next week, Seun. Bye. All right, Irabor. Bye, man.
You guys are evil.